Oop, let me kill that. There we go. Have fun in that game. We're ready to go. I'm playing black in this one as well. Have fun. I'm playing white in this one. Have fun. Let's try d4. Playing black in this game. Have fun. And I'm playing black in this game. I only have one white. Man. Okay. Let's stay focused here. Nothing here. Something here. Okay. Let's go with this. I'm looking to just build a center. Let's get my knight out. Let's try the Caro. Let's try the Sicilian. Let's try the Sicilian. Nothing here yet. Let's build a center. That might turn into a Catalan. This early part might be a bit quick. Zveshnikov, I'll take if there's going to be a pawn push. Nothing, 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 something. Bishop f4. Just take. There's not really anything better at that point. Bishop b5. Okay. Okay. Can you give me doubled pawns there? We're going to see. Still nothing here. Something here. Let me get this in. Might be knight moves, but eventually there could be a... Like if there's knight move and eventually a g5 to kick my bishop around, there might be like a knight d2 thing. I don't want to go mainline. So let's go with that instead. Knight is out. What about... What about knight f6? Why not? Why not? Let's just get more development. I want to maintain that pawn. Knight here, or bishop here, h6, bishop here, pawn push. I could move my knight. This is what I was talking about a little bit ago. So my bishop's going to get harassed for a bit. Normally this knight would be taken by now. Okay, I might be jumping in the center if it's not taken. Okay, there's no action in any of the games just yet. Okay, we have action. You can't see it on the screen, but these tabs light up. Let's play this because I want to get in d5, maybe with tempo. And I will have, with that move, removed my opponent's only central pawn. Okay. We'll go with this, and then knight c3. I should have been in pre-move with that. Okay, I'm going to take away from the center just so my bishop has some possibilities. Okay. I don't want to allow d5. I have to take that. Bishop e7. Yep. Okay, so we're entering a Catalan with that game. Back up. If g5, that's that knight d2 move that I was talking about, where my queen would then be hitting an unprotected knight. Nothing here. Something here. Now what do I do? Queen c7, is that going to be troublesome? Queen 5, I just back up. If there's g3, I kick the knight away. If there's ever bishop f4, I could do a counterpunch with e5. I think this should be okay. Queen b8, again, if the knight goes here, and then there's this a6, maybe b5, both with tempo. Nothing here yet. Let's pin this knight. Nothing here. Nothing here. Something here. Let me just castle. So we're still following theory in that one. Catalan. Catalan land. Nothing here. And okay, we have action right here. Let's get my knight out. He wasn't doing anything. I'm not sure what I want to do with my bishop just yet. Here or here. If I go here, there's potential for a fork if this pawn advance gets in, but not just yet. I got a pin. We have action here, and now I believe I'm going to take. If queen c2, I do a6, b5 stuff, bishop b7. My goal, I think, could turn out to be to get the c5 advance in. My c pawn could definitely turn out to be a liability. So now my opponent is going in reverse. Something that I don't Not so sure about that move. Why was that played? Okay, a lot of time is being wasted with those two knight moves. Okay, and I think just e6. To be a bit careful about my king safety in that game for sure. So as soon as I capture g takes h, I have to be a bit more concerned about my king position. But this pawn could turn out to be useful in that it controls e5. There's not a convenient knight move. Okay, I think just castle. Complete my development. Action here. Okay, you have this knight move. Now, what do I do here? Is there a knight c6 move here? Something tells me that there's like a knight c6 move here. Just like it's dropping a pawn, but I'm focused on this knight c6 move. Knight c6. There could be bishop takes. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen here. Knight takes bishop. Queen takes, and this pawn will eventually fall, but I think I could have some compensation. I think I want to go with this. I do have some experience. I'm just trying to right now. The reason why I'm hesitating is I'm trying to now recall certain games that I've played with this variation, primarily in Blitz, and I'm trying to kind of anticipate how those kind of played out. One of the games, I don't think I was really able to make much use of this light square weakness. That's one of the intentions with playing knight here. If my opponent's to grab a pawn, I think they do so by giving up their light square bishop, although knight takes, pawn take, bishop takes, rook b8, and then I think I could still have stuff there. And try it. No turning back now. And I have no choice but to recapture if it's taken. It doesn't matter how. So now what? If I change the structure, if I close the center with, in some sense, with d5, what will my opponent then be doing? Should I play h3, I wonder? Just to stop something like g5, knight here to pick up my dark square bishop. I think that might be purposeful. It's also a flight square. I'm going to go with that. Okay, now what? Now what? Let's get my knight working. I'm not sure what I want to do with my dark square bishop just yet. Nothing here. Okay, my queen is being hit. I do have this covered. Okay, hopefully this works. This is what I was thinking might happen, and I think I'm able to kick the knight out just in time. Nothing here just yet. And nothing here yet. Something here. So is it worthwhile to pin this knight? Would I just play this advance? As soon as I do this, there's going to be h3. Give up the knight, the queen recaptures. My opponent has a better structure, and I no longer have the bishop pair. So I wonder if I could just do this. I'm going to go with that. e5, establish a pawn in the center, and I'd like to get my knight here. That, however, would take quite a bit of time to do. Nothing here yet. Nothing here yet. Something here. If I do d5, this will be a potential pawn break to look into. a6 is prepping that. Could I keep this tension, however? Or maybe my bishop could do something else. Maybe I drop my bishop back. Yeah, I think that's a more useful diagonal. Let's get on this diagonal. So I've wasted some time as well. And now this. I have bishop checks available. I'll go with that. Give a check. My opponent definitely has the better structure in that one. We could be entering an endgame in that. We'll see. We're going to see about that. At least my opponent's thinking on this one. Maybe they're not familiar with that move. We're going to see. We're definitely going to see. So they captured. I was in pre-move mode. So they're not giving up their light square bishop to then follow up with a knight capture, the fork. So I'm still up a pawn, but these guys are messed up for sure. And there's no other moves in any of the other games, so just kind of hang out here. Bishop takes pawn. My response is I'm very limited with my response. Rook B, Still have to get their queen side out. Okay, we have action over here. The knight is blocking. And... Just take the bishop. What are my options? Yeah, I'll take that guy. And let's see. Okay, I gotta kick this knight out before there's this advance, and then the knight gets to jump in here. He has to go. And now b5. This could turn out to just be troublesome now for white. This move, while it was aggressive for one move, now I'm gaining some moves back with tempo in each case. Nothing here yet. Something here. Just the recapture. Okay. So queen a5 comes to mind. And, well, I think that's useful. Let's go there. Pawn push isn't even threatening anything because the rook is unprotected. So there we go. The knight ran away. And I think I could just put pressure on it. However, I have to be concerned about this advance. What about knight takes knight, queen takes, and then b5? b5, and then even... And then b4 maybe. And then bishop b7. Ooh, that could turn out to be nasty. I'm going to try that. See, if I do b5 right now, knight takes, pawn takes, I don't know if that's a great structure. Maybe it is. Hang on. b5. Yeah, this might be better, actually. b5, because right now I could get this move in with tempo and then this one. If I take the knight, the queen recaptures and is defending the pawn. So after b5, the bishop has the option to go back to b3. However, just keeping this tension, maybe b5, the bishop has to go to d3, but it can't just yet. So maybe b5 is then forcing knight takes knight, pawn takes. The bishop has to react, and then I get e5 in. And I'm okay with getting e5 in if I have a pawn around on c6. I think I would be, at least. I'm going to go with that. I like b5 right here. There we go. I don't have much choice, do I? No. Okay, I don't want to... I want to keep a pawn on that square. He's good there. Oh my goodness, my opponent was just able to castle. Oh man, miscalculation. Very, very basic miscalculation. Oh, I was thinking my opponent couldn't castle. I thought their king needed to be around to defend the knight. Not the case. I am no better in this position. I am in trouble in this position. Okay. Yep, definitely in trouble. Okay, I think I need my queen around right here. Yeah. And then I can maybe castle. And then king h8 and throw rook on the g file. Okay. I think there's b6 and there's queen e7. I think I want to do this so that I could play knight f6. I want my queen to maybe do two things. Defend c5 and this so that I could develop my knight to f6, d. This is the journey, by the way. f6, d7, f8, e6, and then finally this square. I think this is the correct placement for the queen. Okay, so now I could kick this knight, and then I'm going to win this pawn, am I not? Pawn push. Saying my opponent disconnected in that they have to reconnect within 2 minutes, otherwise they're going to be forfeited or something. They will lose if they don't connect within 2 minutes. Oh boy. Okay, so this game might be beat. Let's see though. Okay. My options. Bishop here comes to mind. b4 comes to mind. b4. Where's that knight? b4, and then just take this pawn. b4, knight here. Knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, bishop f3 has me concerned. Maybe I could actually just try and hang on to him. Maybe I could gain a tempo with a later queen b5. Try it. I don't have a choice if knight takes knight because they would be on my queen, so let me make that move right now. Pre-move. And now that bishop is a bug. So this bishop I don't have to worry about coming out in this diagonal. I'd like to get my queen here and my knight here. This bishop is no longer going to be around to defend the light squares. So bishop here I think is good. Yeah, I got to get rid of that bishop before I can make any progress. Also, I want to be able to move this pawn, so he needs to go. Got to get rid of that light square bishop. And now what? My opponent's moving that knight again. This is a half-open file. Let's just get there. Nothing here just yet. Nothing here yet. Nothing here. Okay. It's tough to stay focused here. Alrighty. Close that. No action yet. How's the clock situation on each? I have 20 minutes in that one, 20 minutes in this one, 19, 20, 20. Okay. Just knight takes pawn right now. Knight takes knight, queen takes, and is this knight going to jump in here? Oh, that'll be dangerous. Knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, pawn takes, queen d4, hits my knight, and threatens knight b6, rook a7, knight takes bishop, queen takes rook. I end up losing something, I'm pretty sure. I think I need development. This was maybe a bad idea. Now I have to worry about these dark squares. Bishop here, maybe. No, bishop here, knight could go here. Ah, what a bug. This is not turning out so great. What about e5 right here? e5? That's somehow okay? e5. Knight takes knight, pawn takes. Guess my bishop could come out or something. I feel like I need to stop the queen from posting up on d4. Oof, let's see. What are my other options here? Oh, man. I'm struggling. I don't know what sort of candidate moves I should be going with. Push in the center. Now that this knight can't be making use of this square, maybe it's okay. Pawn push takes, knight here. Or knight takes, pawn takes, knight here. I feel like I need to try something like that. Okay. Let's see how this works out. Okay. Bishop takes bishop, followed up with queen here. Might be dropping some material, my queenside pawns, but these guys are still spectators, and maybe I could get these light squares working in my favor. Calculation time. I think I have to get rid of this guy, so let me do that first. Okay, what's this knight up to? What's my rook doing? Nothing. Let's get him doing something. Oh my goodness. Ah, man. T-knight disconnected. Forfeited by disconnection. Ah, man. 4 games. There's nothing I can do right now about that. Nothing I could do about that. Knight here. If knight here, I play knight d7, and I'm there in time to defend that pawn. Nothing here yet. Something here. Okay, now queen to this square. Queen takes pawn. I have this rook move, and the queen is actually trapped. Queen here, queen takes pawn, queen b7, and the queen would be trapped. So queen here, you can't take... No, queen here, queen takes pawn, queen b7, rook b7, there's queen to this f4 square. However, queen d5, queen takes pawn, bishop d6, the queen could grab this guy, but I think I have something on the light squares somehow. Actually, queen here, queen takes pawn, rook here. Let the queen go to this square? I don't know. I think this is correct. I think that that is correct. We are even on pawns, but these guys are liabilities. Still a little uncomfortable for this bishop to get working because of the pressure I have on b7. Pawn push with tempo, and I could grab some space as well. I'm kind of liking that. Maybe I want to get my bishop in a better spot. I don't know if I'm going to break down this structure. Actually, maybe before my opponent plays this move. If this, then I do this, then the knight jumps in here. I don't even think I want to allow that. I'm going to grab some space. Reposition my bishop right here, get rid of this guy, and then maybe I could attack the king. Okay, I think it's important to not castle because I want to make use of f8 first. So my knight is still going for this journey, something I spoke about very early on. When he was still in his home square, I said he wants to be right here. And that's where I want to still get him to, because there's good support for him. If pawn takes, I think I just have to recapture with my queen. There's no other moves in any of these 4 games. So, nothing here yet. Actually, I should... No, I don't know how I want to recapture. Probably with the pawn. And... bishop f4 to here, or maybe I should be stopping this b5 advance. Yeah, I think that that's purposeful. I don't want this break to happen. However, knight here seems appealing. Yeah, no, knight here is better. It also stopped knight move to this square. Bishop f4 to like zigzag his way to d4. Is that coming at a snail's pace? Is b5 going to happen? Takes, knight takes, or bishop takes, and then this is loose. So at first I thought about a3, just so that this is my opponent isn't able to really do this. I could do a4, but it weakens this. Can my opponent exploit that? Knight here to here, and he's tough to remove after a5. Queen b6 in response to a4. But after a3, maybe I could be doing b4. Maybe I like just a single step. I'm going to go a single step. And now, okay, this advance is going to happen, isn't it? Alright, well maybe now that that happened, maybe I'm okay with keeping my knight here. Since I know I won't be able to hang out on this square, I'm going to castle. And now my rook could maybe play here. And after one of these pawns capture, maybe my knight could be making use of one of these two and then jump into d3. So I might want to... I'm shifting gears right now. Queen here seems a little interesting. Oh boy. Pawn takes pawn. Just castle, and then they're hitting it a second time. However, pawn takes pawn. Bishop here, and then here. Would I be able to get away with that? I could also just play my bishop right here, right now. Let me see. Pawn takes is a little scary because I'm not helping out my development by doing that move. This I would be, and I'm still threatening stuff. So bishop here, this has my concern though. Then what does my bishop do? I could also consider this. a5 with bishop a6 now that the queen is on this diagonal, but I'm assuming she wants to play here next and put pressure on this pawn. I think I should be going forward with more development. Bishop here, if there ever is this, then I'm going to go in this direction with my bishop. Okay, what do I do? Bishop here, knight b6 could actually be a bit annoying. Ugh. Man. Maybe bishop e7. Just so there's no knight b6 stuff. Bishop here, my queen is having to defend both the bishop and this knight b6 move. Oh boy. I think bishop e6. I just want to get castled. Or, yeah, bishop e7, I should say. I want to get castled, maybe get my rook on the d file. Okay, so not grabbing this pawn. So I could do this move. Could definitely do this move, can't I? It'd be knight here. Not sure. What are my candidate moves? Queen. I see these light square weaknesses. Something I want to like get that pawn there if I can. It's far-fetched. Pawn push? No. No. Oh, what about rook here? Rook b4? Queen takes pawn. Rook a8, queen takes pawn. Rook b7. Queen f4. Might be something to that. There might actually be something to that. I have to calculate though. Time consuming for not just this game, but every game I'm playing right now. Pretty much. Rook b4. Because then I could just play c5, get rid of this, and break down the center. Rook b4, if queen takes pawn isn't available. Rook b4. Queen takes pawn, rook a8. Queen takes pawn, rook b7. Queen f4, I'll have something for that. Hopefully I did the calculations correct. Okay. Now I think I need to improve my dark square bishop slightly. I have c4 covered. Let's get this in. Okay, these guys are, we have action, don't we? Pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, rook here. Position's opening up. I also got rid of my doubled pawn. I have the bishop pair. Do I take again or just play rook here first? Is there any rush with taking? I don't think so. Ooh, maybe there is. If I do this right away, is bishop here going to be annoying? I'll do this, but I weaken my king position in diagonal. I think I take first. Let's take first. Okay. Guess who can't develop their bishop in this direction, so I gotta go here. However, should I first play h5 and then, otherwise, might there be g4, g5 stuff? My knight doesn't have a great place to go to. Bishop here to here seems like a nice, clean plan. Go with this, get my bishop here. I don't think that there's a need to castle just yet, now that the center is a bit more closed. So c5, I could get that in, correct? c5, get rid of that, or do I double first? Maybe there's no rush with playing c5. I could get that in soon enough. I'm actually liking my position in this game. However, there might be a3, kick my rook away, and then knight d2, and this pawn falls. I think maybe c5 is important to do right now. It might even be like knight here, queen f3, rook dropping back, and then coming over in this direction. That is not so far-fetched, I don't think. Let's see. Now, knight's going to play here. I think I need to do c5. What about knight here? Stopping this knight from doing stuff. Maybe I could just capture him if he's developed. Knight here? Ooh, wait. Knight here to here might be a threat. Knight e4 to g5 might be a bit annoying. However, after knight here, there's pawn push. Knight g5, there's like a king move to defend, and I don't know how I make progress. I don't have enough pieces. 2 pieces attacking, but not anything more, I don't think. So knight here, I think f3 is strong. c5, double rooks are my candidate moves. I'm liking c5. I should probably just go with it. Let's go with c5. Okay. I have very little time in this game. I gotta go faster. Okay, and now what? Just take this. Yeah, I'm trying to exploit that knight position now. I'm weak on the dark squares, but I don't know that my opponent could really get at that. Bishop here, and then get my queen into this spot. Really like to get my bishop on that square. Let's do this. I don't have a choice. I gotta recapture. Nothing here yet, nothing here yet. Less than 9 minutes in this game. Oh man, it's tough. It'd be even tougher if T-Knight didn't disconnect. I'd be still having to battle that game, and that was... We were just getting started, and I wasn't liking my position. I had already miscalculated, thinking my opponent couldn't castle. Oh boy. Alrighty. No action just yet. Tough games. This is an interesting one. Very interesting one out of the Catalan. Okay, we have action here. Pressure against this pawn. Just get my queen up. She's not doing anything just yet. Yep, I have this covered. There's no knight move. Okay, my opponent took on this square, so queen here is going to be a nice post. Even if it's defended, queen jumping up here. After the recapture, I'd be hitting the knight. So this could turn out to be pretty good. For right now, the queen is having to defend that pawn. We have action in this game. Maybe just get my pawns rolling. b4 and then this. b4, and if c5 is prevented with b6, then I could look to get into this square, since it would be a hole. I think this is the direction to go now. b4, grabbing some space on the queen side. And now, queen here is this advance. Or, well, yeah, pretty much is going to force that. Unless there's queen dropping back, but no, she has to watch over this pawn. I think this is just the correct move. She's in a very strong post, and there might even be... No, queen b3 is going to control queen c4 stuff, so I wouldn't be able to attack this pawn. I might have, however, c5, c4, c3. And this knight, if it can't make use of any of these two squares, it's out of the game. I might want to look into h5, knight g4 stuff. Let's see, we have action in this game. Maybe I could do bishop d4 and then queen here to get to b6. Bishop here. Bishop here, and then queen to e3. I want to get to this square. Knight here. And if the knight moves, I jump into this square. Seems like the right spot. Nothing here, nothing here. All my opponents are thinking at this point. 8 minutes for white here. I have 8 minutes in this game. Okay, I pretty much think I'm in a spot to open stuff up. I think my knight jumping into d5. Okay, so it was just taken. I think just queen takes. Or is there a purpose in having my bishop here and then I could retreat it and stay on this diagonal? It's not doing anything here. Bishop takes. However, bishop takes, knight here. How do I defend this pawn? Because my rook's going to get kicked away soon with a3. So maybe queen takes so that if there is more pressure on this pawn, I could defend it with rook c8 and I'm defending it directly. Or maybe just rook here right now. Maybe I don't know how I want to take. I'm just going to take right away. No, hang on. Rook c8? It's hit twice, defended 0. I could hit it a third time. It's not going to be defended again. I like my queen position. I'd like to play here. The knight plays here. Rook c8? He's not doing anything. Get all my pieces working? Like, rook's unprotected, but I could just react to any threats, bishop or queen, or pawn. I don't know. Hang on. There might be pawn push followed by bishop here. Let me just get rid of him. How do I do it, though? Crap. Make up your mind, my clock's again. Bishop takes pawn. Just take with the queen. I don't have time. I jump in here. I can recapture and be on the queen. Nothing here yet. Okay, that I expected. Now, this pesky knight. Pawn push, pawn push. H5 is another move to consider, though. Just castle? I don't know. My opponent's going to castle. Pawn push, bishop here trying to get rid of my knight. I think I'd be okay with that. Pawn push. After I castle, if my knight moves, there's queen takes pawn. Should just castle. I don't know. Or the c5 castle, h5 are my candidate moves. c5, queenside castle, c4, the position's opening up. I'm not castled just yet. Take, rook c6. Actually, this move is threatening queen c6 and I'm on this pawn. That's right. I'm opening up a square for my queen to attack that pawn. Okay, now where do I go with my rook? Right here? No, then there's tempo gaining moves. Let's go back this square right here, not all the way, just right here where I could still double and defend my isolated pawn. Okay, I'm looking to still get in those light squares. I don't have any choice. I'm not so sure I'm in favor of this structural change. I think I like that move. I think that's a good move for my opponent. Let's take that and develop. Have to watch my dark squares in this game. Less than 7 for my opponent in that one. Okay, now this. Okay, pawn takes. Okay, what about just queen here? This knight is a tough guy. Wow, is he tough. Queen here. And then I could grab this pawn next. Wow. Queen here. What a tough guy right here. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen b4. The knight is in a pin. But after bishop d2, I'm not so sure what I have. Setting myself up for trouble. Pawn takes, knight. I have to move quick. Pawn takes, en passant. Knight takes, queen b4. I don't know what I have. Queen c6. If I get this pawn, then I get this pawn. And this is a connected pass pawn. Trouble. However, pawn takes, knight takes, queen here is different. Not really. The bishop moves. I can't grab the pawn. The queen is defending the knight. Wow. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen here. Bishop g5, pawn push. Wow. I can't calculate all this. What about just queen here? I can't calculate all that stuff. I gotta go with something, even if it's wrong. I gotta try that. Okay. Well, I think queen h5. Queen takes here, I take here. I also have knight g stuff. That might even be better. Let me focus on these light squares now that that light square bishop isn't around. I have bishop here, but just rook there. I think I want to defend this pawn. This is annoying. I don't have any time in this game. Oh, man. Oh, man, less than 4 minutes in that one. What's going on in this game? Just double up, double rooks. I gotta go faster. I'm pressed for time in many of these games now. Castle, that guy isn't going anywhere just yet. However, bishop here could be annoying. Oh, queen takes, queen take. No, queen takes is just going to be immediate capture. I'd be more fearful about dealing with the knight. Queen takes this. Queen takes. Bishop takes. Queen takes queen. I gotta try this, I think. Gotta try it. I have no choice but to recapture. Time issue. Less than 4 in this game. I gotta pay close attention to this one, just for time alone. Okay. Try and keep control of this file. To recapture with my queen if there's that rook exchange. I think so. 3-on-2 majority on the king side. I believe I do that move, so let's play it. Nothing here yet, something here. The bishop is backing up. Let me drop my bishop all the way back. No, just right here is good. If there's knight takes pawn, I have bishop takes pawn. Action here. Oh, that could be taken right away. Okay, I think... Okay, let's do that. Action here. Rook right here, and then if there's rook takes, I could take with the bishop and I'm on the knight, and I can maybe get this pawn. So I'm doing this move so that I could triple up. I can't castle, so I got to go about completing my development like this. Knight here next, knight d7. Okay, nothing here, something here. Just want to drop both my bishops back, I think. Man. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my queen. I want to get some activity for my bishops. Somehow. Okay, I'm on that knight. How do you defend e5 now and keep your structure intact? Bishop's hit. I'm preparing f6. Maybe this as soon as bishop doesn't have pressure on g. And now knight here. Knight here, this is forced. Wait, no, the pawn can move. No, it can't. I have pressure on this. So knight here, pawn take, pawn push, I could take. Pawn takes, queen takes. I feel like I want to do that. just sack a piece. I think I'm going to go for it. It's going to get a bit wild. So now I got to regain this pawn. Even if I drop a pawn, I want the position to just open up. Let's take that rook first. Nothing here. I could take... Oh, there's rook fork. Very sneaky. Okay, I think bishop takes pawn. I'm really liking that. Maybe there's a rook lift even. I think there might be a rook lift. My opponent is not developed over here. I'm just going to sack. Hopefully it works. It seems way too appealing not to do. Okay, I'm going to go for that. And then do what? Oh, there's queen check and then rook here. Or actually just queen check and maybe queen here. Time situation. Okay, I think I just get out of that. Rook here. No, just king up and rook here. I'd like to stay on a light square. How about rook here first? No, I might want to still do this. Should I castle? No, I don't want to castle. King here, force the bishop to move, and then this pawn advance. Now, king here. Let that bishop stay in the pin. Let them keep that pin. Okay. Okay. That f-pawn has to move, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that was interesting. Huh. Could play queen f1 and get this pawn. Action over here. Oh, rook here, and then I could take this with check. I also have queen f4 check stuff. I think this is winning now. Pig on the second. Rook here, I think will get me something, or will it? Rook here, followed by rook here, and I think I win stuff. Rook here, the rook has to go back. I have to move. There is no pin. There is no bishop c5 move. 2 minutes. I only have 2 minutes in this one. Oh, I just gotta go. 2 minutes. I don't have any time. 4 games yet. Okay. Rook up and over. Queen here. Oh man. About knight here. Defend my pawn. Pawn push. I have a knight check or something. Time. 2 minutes. Oh, the queen's there to defend. Wow. Can I kick this queen away, though? Chase the queen from the defense. b6. Queen here I could take, and then take this pawn. Without the queens, I'm still better. b6, what am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything. Time issue. Okay, that bishop's ready to move. I want to push my a-pawn. Nothing here, something here. I gotta just do something here. What am I doing? Get my queen active. Okay, I'm just going to take with check, and then take here. Okay, and now get pushing. Nope, I can't do that. Okay, knight check. Even knight here looks good. Oh, this is going to be strong, isn't it? Knight here, and then rook up and over stuff. I like the checking move. It's easier to calculate. Bishop or queen here, I think, is strong. How much time? Less than 2 minutes still. Get behind that guy. Nothing, nothing. I have to stay on this game, just in case there's movement. Oh, man. Threatening bishop here, and I think it's trouble. Queen check. And then queen here. Just going to do this to buy some time. And now bishop here. I think this is a winning material. Hopefully it is. I just don't know. Keep that king out. I could end up getting cut off here. Take here and put pressure on that b pawn. My opponent is still thinking. Action here. Pile up on that. I could get a pig. I want to attack that rook like that pawn like this. I'm going to win this pawn, aren't I? Nothing here just yet. Minute 24. All the other games I have time. Okay, so rook up and get it to this corner. And I think that's going to be game over. I think a rook lift. This is the last piece. I don't know that my opponent could weather the storm there. Felt like I just dropped a piece for a second. Okay. My opponent resigned. Oh, because queen here is mate. They were down on time too. That's tough. Good game. I have to close out. I have to go to a different game. Still action. Okay, takes here. Okay. I think I want to get my king on c6 first. Is there really a rush? I want to make sure that that pawn is blockaded. Let me close out. I'm down a pawn in this position, but I have the bishop pair. I'm getting this knight. Oh, that was a blunder. The queen was needed to defend. I think moving the knight here would have been good. I'm getting this knight, correct? Ooh, hang on. It's a clever knight move there. Queen takes. No, knight move, I could take a pawn at least. That's got to be a mistake. So I'm getting a pawn back at the very least. Just push my pawns. Maybe I want my king in a better position. Let me get my king in a better position. Okay, and now what? Oh, I have some sneaky stuff. I could take this pawn and then take here with check and then get on b2. Okay, so I have a king position. Stopping that pawn from going any further. Bishop takes pawn, and then I grab on b2. Or anything better? Actually, bishop here is just going to win the knight. Bishop here. I'm on the bishop and the knight. That would be better. Yeah, because the queen's in a pin. I'm hitting two things. King position. Less than a minute in that game. Gotta focus on that. Get 3 minutes in this one. Okay. Nothing here just yet. I mean, it's a one position, this one, because I'm up a piece now. I'm going to be. Interesting move. Very interesting move. Let's hang on to this, and then maybe rook b5. Gotta do something. Whew, man. Nothing here just yet. I have a lead on time. Rook check. And then I could get this pawn. Rook check, maybe this pawn. Rook check. Deflection. Now that the king is tied down to the defense of that pawn. Okay, now I could give check and then get this pawn. Now it's becoming more clear for me at this point. No, I could give check here. This is cleaner. Check here and then take here. This is much easier for me to calculate that move. Still, well, less than 50 seconds. Okay, that's a good move. King and pawn endgame. Who's going to win that? Wow. Well, this is a connected passed pawn, so that's a very important detail. Takes, bishop takes, rook here. King and pawn endgame, I win. King here. I have rook b5 to defend. I could get out of the pin as well. Queen there. I don't have any time. "27 seconds. Gotta defend. "27 seconds. Okay, my opponent resigned in this game. Good game. Okay, I was picking up another pawn at least. Okay, I'm up a piece and then that one. 27 seconds in this one, 2 games remaining. 3 minutes in this one, 27 seconds. What do? I could give some checks. Oh, I get that bishop. Okay, this is much easier now. That was missed. Let me give one more check just to pick up some time. And then I'll take the bishop. And then there's my king is safe as well. So this is the last game. As long as I don't forget about time in this one. 40 seconds. Okay. Action here. I got to get out of the pin. Okay, let me just grab that bishop. Nothing here yet. I'll be able to make moves in this one much faster to gain time. Could give some checks. 5 minutes for my opponent. I could give knight checks now. In fact, this is a threat. Rook takes bishop with the fork to follow. I don't have any choice. So again, this is all very, very important to know that in this resulting king and pawn endgame, I stand better. Otherwise, I'm just... it would have been bad to go into those pins. Okay, my opponent resigned in that one. Okay, you're saying it was an honor to play. Okay, good game. Thank you for that. Let's close. Last game. Rook and pawn endgame. Ugh. Okay, last game. Focus here. What do? It's good that the rook stayed away from capture. This is tough. Rook here to cut the king off, and if rook here, I play king here. How about check and then rook here? No, check, king, no, check, the king can't go here. So check, king f3, check, I could get here without wasting time. So if anything, I give check and then go to c3. Check, king f3, check, king here. And then maybe push my pawn. Hang on. I have time. A little bit more than the last game. So rook check, king here. No, rook check, king f3, rook check on c3, and then push my pawn. If he tries to go after these, I can maybe get my king on e3 and then look for mate. Or maybe like some zigzag where I have pressure on this pawn at some point. Pawn push, king f4 stuff. Controlling this square, basically forming a wall on these 3 squares and then playing rook here, I think will turn out to be good. Let's see. This pawn I'm not so concerned about. I could always get behind it. So I think that I'm the side who's playing for a win in this resulting position due to my king position and also this pawn being passed and ready to start pushing forward. If he goes over here, well, he pretty much has to go here. Probably the best. As central as possible where it still defends G. I'd like to get my king to this square, but the rook is being a bug. Okay, so I think I give another check and then pawn push. It's my only chance to try to win. Pawn push. This might end up happening, something that I was maybe rattling off a bit too quickly. This e5 move. Or e4 move. e4, rook here. I could do like a king move. Looking for that. I wanna guard these 3 and then play my rook to the second. I'm gonna try and get him rolling. I don't see any cleaner way to try to score the point here. Actually, this rook I think will do well. How? With maybe giving check laterally in some instances. 1 minute 22. We're pretty even with the clock. There's been a tendency with these simuls to have the last game end up in a repetition. Gotta watch out for that. Now, actually, rook check, king here. I could take this pawn, but then there's some check against my king. No, I think that should be good. So I think I could do this and force the king. No, maybe I don't want to do that. How about pawn push? Pawn takes. If pawn push, rook, I can't calculate. Let's see. What about this? G6. Let's try it. 38 seconds. Living on the edge, living on the increment. Okay. I have connected pawns now. My pawns could help out with this guy's support now that he's no longer around and in my territory. What else? This pawn I don't think I'm too concerned about. I'm still looking at this idea. Check, just gobbling up these guys. Especially him. If he's no longer around, I could maybe rely upon this square. Okay, check. King here. I grab this pawn. That's got to be good. The king can't make use of this square just yet. He's got to go back. And now my king could get here to a key square. Very key square where I'd be threatening mate. Bump my king up, get to e3, something I spoke about just a little earlier. King f1 I think is needed. Best resistance, but even so, I think getting here is difficult to defend against. There might need to make a very accurate rook move. A very, very accurate rook move right now. Do you see what it is? This accurate rook move? I'm pretty sure there's an only move right now. It may be quite difficult to find. It might be tempting to want to just keep pushing, but I think this king position is just way too strong. I don't think that was the accurate rook move. I think the rook needed to play over here to have some rank checks available, but at least it's able to come back to defend. But now I can give a check, force the king here, and then play behind this pawn. No, actually, excuse me. Let's give a check, gain some time. King has to play here to keep this. So now I play behind this pawn before the rook does, as otherwise the tables might turn and my king would have to run over here. So I'm getting this pawn. I just have to come back for a second. This pawn is going to fall. And I'm up a pawn now, and this king is still cut off, so it's quite difficult for this rook to even get active because it has to watch out for my passed pawn. There's no rush. It's not going anywhere. Okay. No rush just yet. Just want to get that B pawn and then get back to the second. My king is around to defend my pawns. .44. Okay, the rook is getting active. Let's just grab that pawn. And now I'm going to look to get back to this square. Okay, let me give a check. King here is just mate with f4. And now I could do a pawn push, and the king is going to be kicked way away from the action. This pawn is now going to be unstoppable. Going here, I take that pawn with check. So I believe I just keep pushing right now. However, what might be the cleanest way to do this, to finish this game, is to play rook b6 to e6 and then push my pawn. Although no, I like keeping pressure here. I think I just push. Yeah. There's no pawn push either by this. There's no king move because of rook takes pawn, and there's no pawn move because of f3. And I think I zigzag my way. I don't know, let's just do this. Keep the king boxed out. And the plan will be rook f2 and then pawn push. And then pawn push with check, and then I can get this guy. I want to keep my king over here. I don't want to allow king g4 with tempo on my pawn. I want to keep defense here, in other words. Is there anything else? Let's just do this. Keep everything defended. Could also just try and get my rook behind my passed pawn. Maybe there's even a back rank mate, or not back rank, but those kind of mates. Ooh, man. I gotta watch out for stalemate ideas. King here, there's like, the king is in stalemate. King here. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Pawn takes? I don't want to do that. King is in stalemate. I mean, there still is this pawn move, but there might even be a pawn check. King takes. Even now, rook check. I move away and the king has g4. If rook takes pawn, pawn takes, the king has g3. So pawn push is not working. If I do this advance, that's where it could get a bit tricky. So I think it's important to play my rook here right now. I'm low on time. Right here to just have everything defended. Oh, what am I talking about? There's king h4. There would be king h4, 19 seconds. So now that everything is defended, I'm finally looking for e2, f3, rook f1, and then promote. I actually don't need my king around to help. Pawn push, rook here. I don't believe I'm missing anything. I could always just run back. I don't even have to take the pawn if it pushes. I'll probably just play to f7. 14 seconds remaining. f3. Once he's defended, rook f1. So pawn push. Now the king at least has g3. "14 seconds. King here, rook f1. Now it's much more clear. Pawn promotion next. Just run away. The king is not needed. And time is no longer an issue. With check, there is no stalemate after I queen. Just playing it out. Okay. Resigned. Alright, good game to Mate and X, and good game to everybody else who took part. that first game that finished, it was unfortunate. T-Knight, the disconnection, and I don't really know how things really would have turned out if that game was still going on. I was playing on increment for a lot of those games, so it would have been much more difficult had that not occurred. But again, good games to those who played. Thank you to Mate and X, Pawn Center, Mikhail Klepf, T-Knight16, and Mato Man. Thank you for that. Okay, let me close out of this.